votaries of a doctrine called Hindutva, which actually has nothing to do with Hinduism. Hindutva's roots in the 1920s were in a certain current of modern European thought, which gave us Mussolini in Italy, which gave us Hitler in Germany, which a decade later gave us Franco in Spain and Gaetano in Portugal. And that is a certain kind of thought that saw a great virtue in racial pride, in the creation of a strong and militarized state in alliance with corporate power that would ensure, with one voice and one discipline, a nation marching forward in progress, and often by crushing dissent within and enemies outside. That was the logic of what became known as fascism. Those who followed similar strains of thinking in many countries all started writing in the 1920s. And our dear friend Mr. Savarkar, whose portrait now hangs in Parliament opposite Mahatma Gandhi's, which is a thought that makes many of us choke. Savarkar wrote Hindutva in 1922, republished it in 23 with some edits, and his statements are very clear. He said that Hindutva for him is much more than just the Hindu religion. He's not a terribly religious man himself, he said. And what is interesting is that even though we all think of Hindus as a people, he describes Hindus as a race. And he uses the same language of racial pride that the European fascists used in the 1920s. So this racial pride obviously comes at the expense of others. There is no room for acceptance of difference, such as Vivekananda preached, because acceptance of difference shows a capacity to respect people who are different from you, who look different from you, who think different from you, who dress and eat differently from you, speak differently from you, behave differently from you, and you still respect them. That is the essence. And that essence is not available if you want to define an other with a capital O, ostracize the other, condemn the other, and in many cases use violence against the other. That, to my mind, is not just not Hinduism, it is anti-Hindu. And that's why I am so disappointed not to listen to Swami Agnivesh myself, because I wanted to hear him say it. I can see my good friends here have all got video cameras. One of you please save the tape for me so I can listen to his speech later, because I can't miss my flight, but I do want to hear a Swamiji talking about what true Hinduism is. I'm convinced that if Swami Vivekananda were to come to today's India, he would be the same target of these gundas that Swami Agnivesh has been. They would also be bringing engine oil to throw on his face. They would also be trying to knock him down on the street, because Swami Vivekananda would be saying, respect people. He would be saying, understand, humanity is most important. People came to him during a drought when people were dying of starvation in one area and said, you have to save the cows. And Swami Vivekananda said, why save the cows? Save the people. So the man said, no. Saving the cows is our religious duty. The people, if they die, it's because they were fated to die. So Swami Vivekananda replied, well, if the people need beef to eat, then maybe the cows were fated to be slaughtered. That was his answer. It's recorded, and it's an extraordinary story, because he always put human beings ahead of anything else. He said, and we are walking through the country, through the villages as sannyasis, preaching religion. Would it not be far more useful for us sannyasis to go from village to village teaching science and mathematics? See, he always felt that human beings, their development, their progress is far more important than anything that people believe because of religious faith alone. So please understand, this is a great man whose ideas, whose openness, whose willingness to accept would not have been welcome in the India dominated by those who are in power today. So let me conclude, because I have taken more time than I intended to, and we have two good speakers coming. I just want to say once again, the importance of standing up for what we believe in is the reason all of us are in public life, I hope. If we were just cut and paste figures following a party line every time, then understandably, I think people would say, what are we going to be contributing to our political discourse and to the future of our country? Let me say also that as far as this country is concerned and the future of our country is concerned, it can only be a future in which all of us live together, progress together, move side by side together. It cannot be a country in which we are divided on the basis of religion or of communal identity, of caste, because such divisions inevitably spew bitterness, fear, and hatred. And that is what cannot but hold a country back. If we are able, like Swami Vivekananda, to accept difference, to accept each other with respect and humility, and to work together and dream the same dreams together, we will create a far, far greater India than sadly we are living through today. Once again, welcome to Tirunelveli Swami Agnivesh, and I really wish you a very successful speech with this remarkable audience. Thank you all very much. Jai Hind.